Hello. Today I'm standing on a hill fort from the Iron Age in Siuntio, Finland. There isn't much to see. Of course there's this huge drop behind me, so I need to be careful in order not to fall off. Anyway, today I thought that let's have a look about the footwork which is to be used with this arming sword style of fighting what we are doing here. So the first thing to understand is that this is a military style. So even though you could use fancy footwork, it's typically the case that to my left there is somebody from my side, to my right there is somebody from my side. So there is always a line of people here, and likewise in front of me that's the enemy line. So you will be having people in line facing you. So in between those two lines then there is kind of this no man's land. And if you have been doing any group against group fighting, you will know that there will be some space in between the lines typically if there is no actual fighting going on. So it's really possible to step there and step back. Of course it comes with lots of dangers. But anyway, if we remember what the technique was all about, so let's say that there is an opposing person who is kind of ready, but maybe they are pointing their weapon at me and trying to keep me at bay. It could be a sword, it could be a spear, it could be anything. So what I need to do is, if I'm going in, I will have to step in one line towards my target. So you can do this in two ways, but if you're only having one sword, then the common thing is to have your right leg forward and your sword maybe somewhere here, because you will have to watch also a little bit to the sides. So if you're having sword back here, you're going to be having some trouble in intercepting strikes coming from multiple directions. So usually it's somewhere here. You are trying to, see everywhere. And the way you step, now you will have two choices here. I will show you the first one. So this first one is something that has been transferred from history basically to this day. So it goes along the follows. So we start with the right foot forward, and when we take the first step, we're using two-step footwork here, we step with the left foot here, so I'm going that way. So my legs actually cross. So this is the first step, and then you just take the second step and you end up where you were basically pose-wise. So now my right foot is forward, and this is exactly what Cassani, for example, recommends, that all your stepping should end with the right foot forward. So why? Because the reason is that then we have the maximum reach here. So if I would be the other way around, you can see I have less reach. I can still reach, but I have less reach compared to this one. I can even extend like this. So what we want to do when we go on the attack, we want to do the attack from basically the maximum distance what we can, because then the enemy people or the opposing people to my front, right and left, if I'm very lucky, they are still out of reach, so they can't hit me. Let's say they have swords too, because diagonally it's a little bit longer way to my opponents. Of course they can move. I need to be careful about that. Okay, let's get back here. So basically your first exercise is to step. So we step just a little bit ahead of the right foot with the left, and then back here. And we can retreat in the same way. So it's like this. And now this is not usually like 1-2 step. 1-2. You want to be quite fast. So what you are doing is like more like this kind of shift kind of stepping, if the ground allows. So even here, it's not super flat here, so you need to be careful. And historically, this was actually criticized, even this stepping, right? That it's difficult if there is uneven ground, which is basically the case all around me. This is just one flat spot. So if that's the case, then you will have to modify your stepping. So for example, if I'm coming down from there, I need to come down like this, for example. So I can still use the same idea, but I'm not sliding anymore. Same story here. If I have to go there, I need to go here first, and then I have to get back somehow. So you need to be like kind of thinking that, okay, what I'm doing here in order not to fall down. If you fall down, that's really bad. So your first priority is always stay upright. So you can getting like this. Then you can maybe step here again. So go here. But you have to kind of feel where is the ground, and then you can come back. So it's a little bit tricky if it's uneven ground. And I don't think many people these days actually practice walking in uneven ground, because you have to be watching your opponent. You have to feel with your foot like, okay, what is going to be there? Otherwise you can easily fall down. So on uneven ground your movements are a lot slower, and you have to take it more carefully. But if it's flat, then you're good to go. So you can be really fast here. And this is what we want. Okay, that's the first option. The second option then. So now if you see my facing, let's say, my shoulders are facing to you. But so they are basically unchanged here. So this is still like this, even if I'm stepping. The other option is that I actually turn, step like that. Now, like I mentioned, the problem with this one is that your range will be shorter, but that's basically the point. So this second type of stepping is usually used only if you are going into very close contact with your opponent, with grappling or something. So if you manage to block his weapon, you can step in really close and then get the hold and cut him. So, but you can use, of course, this kind of stepping if you want. And the third type, actually, you are facing, so my shoulders are like this, I'm facing to my opponent, I'm going in like this. And I think this is maybe the best way if the ground is really bad, because then you can easily, it's like walking ahead. You can move much better and feel what's going on. So this is one of the options as well. The downside is that if this had the maximum range, this had the minimum range, this is kind of the middle range, or your reach, what you can do. So why forward and back? The reason is that, remember, there is the fighting line. So you are one person in the fighting line. And if you go out and then to your right, suddenly you are in between two lines and your friend is here. So it's you might actually hit his weapon or collide with him. And there is an open hole now where you left, which is not actually very good. It's like a weak point in the line. So then you are stuck here, and then you have to somehow get back here quickly, otherwise you can get hit. So that's basically the idea here, because if you see that one opponent is coming out of line and moving there, it doesn't take much to, close his way back. You just step here and then he is like trapped. So that's why it's there and back again. So I hope that makes sense. So now, how does this combine to the cutting? So if you remember from Cassani, let's say we are using this downward cuts only here. So he says that first step with the left foot and hit the opponent's weapon, so it would look like this. And with the second strike then hurt your opponent, so it would look like this. And we are now stepping forward as well. And when we are retreating, we are just parrying, so it could be something like this. So if you want to exercise this, so with the first strike from the right now, so we will step forward with the left foot and at the same time clear the opponent's weapon away from the line. And when that's done, maybe the opponent will try to go back a little bit, or if he doesn't, then you will just go and attack. Once you have done that, you don't stay here, because now, remember, it's a line. There are other people over there. Now they are trying to get you. So you need to very quickly block those incoming strikes and get back to your own line. So that's the basic sequence, and it's actually pretty nice idea what he's saying, because obviously he was in the military and he was aware of this thing, and this happens all over again and again in a reenactment fighting if you are fighting line against line. So if you see that somebody is not paying attention or their weapon is in such a way that you might be able to hit it, clear it somehow, you could maybe do it also like this, so hit and then come back quickly again. You could maybe try to do it. Your choice, your decision. So, but this happens in a situation when the lines are not fully engaging yet. So you can go in there and, you know, try to a little bit like being. If it's too dangerous, you will come back. Then you try again maybe. Being too dangerous, and come back. But it's all time this kind of a little bit like nope. So you keep the opponents, the enemy, on the edge. Don't give them too easy time. Of course you will get tired, but you have to condition yourself so that you can do that. Okay, that's basically it, I guess. I have some visitors coming there. Okay, talk to you later. It's bye-bye.